Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm here with my 2003 Dodge Ram 2500, the Cummins turbo diesel, quad cab. And today I want to replace this LED light on this truck. This third brake light right here, or tailgate light bar. So I bought the truck with this on there. I didn't install this myself, and I really like the look of it. But the problem I'm having is on the driver's side over here, about half these lights, about from here over, these LEDs are burnt out. So, or they're not working. So I've checked the wiring. I've actually done some resoldering and put new connectors on it and everything, and it's still not working right. So it is pretty old. It's kind of rotting away a little bit. This has definitely been on here at least a few years. So it is weathered. It's probably had its time. But anyway, I have a new one. This one is by Opt7. It's basically exactly the same that's on there. Well, pretty much. Looks like it, but a lot newer. This one looks to be really high quality. I was looking at some other ones that were like 250 bucks, but this one was 60. They do make some that have like, I think it's like 1200 LEDs in it. But the turn signals are amber, and on this truck, you know, the lights are red, and I wanted to keep it red. Plus, that one had a super big delay on it. I believe this one had, they all have delays in them, unless you put some sort of, I believe, a resistor box or something in there. But anyways, this is the one I wanted. It was the price I wanted. It was, you know, just about exactly what I have on the truck already. So this is the one I chose, and I'm going to be installing it today. But first, obviously, I need to get rid of this one. So first try to pull it off, and then I'm going to clean the surface and we'll go from there. Here we go. All right, I'm going to start out by seeing if I can get a screwdriver in here, get this thing off. I'm sure this is not going to be easy, and of course I don't want to scratch my truck up in the process. Oh, there we go. I did get it off. All right, so let's get this bad boy off. All right, so I have this off. I'm just going to actually cut these wires off of this old light bar and splice in the new wires for the new light bar. I think that'll work good. I'll first connect them without soldering the wires or crimp, you know, using like some butt connectors or anything like that, just to make sure that, you know, the light bar is actually working. All right, next, I'm gonna take off this old adhesive that the light bar left. So I'm gonna peel all that off, and then I'm gonna get a rag, some cleaner. Definitely this needs to be cleaned up before I put on the new light bar, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. All right, I just wiped it down with some all-purpose cleaner. Just got all the dirt off of it. So now I need to do the wiring. On this Opt7, you can see right here, this is the end of the light bar, and this comes out this 4-pin connector, and then there's also this white wire right here. This white wire is for the reverse lights, because this has the red LEDs for the brake lights and turn signals, and also some white LEDs for reverse. It also came with this, all this wire, and then the female end of this 4-pin connector I'm going to plug into there, and then this end of the wires right here I can splice into the truck wiring harness. So actually I'm going to splice it into the wiring that's already there for the other light bar and see how that goes, because I do want to test this before I actually put it, you know, stick it onto the truck. So let me go into the truck and find those wires. Well, here we are under the truck. Here's the wires that I cut that went right through there that was connected to the old light bar. So it looks like they just zip tied it up, and it goes all around to right here. Follow the wires, and they end right here, and then they go into this harness. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to cut it probably right about here or so, and then I can take the wires that I said earlier and just, you know, attach them that way, and then see if this new one actually works, and then I can set it in place and put the wires up. That should be good to go. All right, guys, I took the old wiring from the old light bar and I just twisted the wires on there from the new harness. This is not a permanent connection. I'm going to use butt connectors with heat shrink after I, you know, have it all set up. But anyways, so I have the light bar just laying on the ground because I wanted to test out, you know, that it actually works and functions before I put, you know, the adhesive on the truck. There it is, lit up. There's with the hazards on. I still have it in the casing, but you know, you get the idea. And then I'll show you guys what the reverse looks like whenever I have it on the truck. But I just wanted to hook it up, you know, real quickly to see that, you know, there are no dead LEDs, that all of them work properly. Actually, now that I know that it works, that it all works, I'm going to go ahead and mount this to the truck. Then I can finish up the wiring. Time to do some measurements. Okay, so the light bar itself is 60 inches, and I measured from end to end, from this end to the other end is 64 inches. So that means that there needs to be, to center it, I want 2 inches on each side. So I have my tape measure here. I'm going to go ahead and just get a little, like a little Sharpie, fine Sharpie mark, make a mark there. And then where my other light bar came to, I measured about an average of 65 millimeters down, and that creates it to where it is, the top of the light bar is at the very bottom of the tailgate, so it'll be flush between, you know, the small space that the tailgate leaves open. So I'm gonna go by that, you know, same measurements of where the old light bar was, because I think that it had a good placement. By the way, this one is a little flimsy, this old one, whereas this one has like a metal, like a metal frame to it. So this one doesn't bend, it's not flimsy at all. So this is gonna be, you know, a whole lot easier to set up on the truck. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make those measurements, mark them up with the little marker, and let's go from there. I have a new light bar. All right, so I did, like I said, I did some measurements. This ended up not being exactly 60 inches long. So I just measured from this body panel crease right here. I measured about 15 to 17 millimeters from this end to this end on that side. And then I did the same right here. You can see I have little tiny Sharpie marks, and then the distance from here to here again was 65 millimeters. And this thing is solid, it's not flimsy. So I had my wife help me. She held on to it as I placed it directly in this spot and then directly in there. So there you go. Also, I tested, I made sure that the driver's side turn signal came on, and then the passenger side turn signal came on. Now I did notice most people have this wiring coming out on the driver's side, and I do believe that is correct, because this right here basically confirms that Op7 logo is upside down. Now I don't really care about that because no one is going to see that, but since I'm using my old wiring from the old tailgate light bar that I, you know, that I'm replacing, whoever did the wiring for that, you know, to begin with, must have, you know, switched the positions of the right and left turn signals. So they are opposite of what they should be. So if you're doing this wiring, you know, from the get-go, from the start, then yours should be okay, because these wires right here that are coming out should actually be going, you know, down here on the driver's side. So just so you know that, I wanted you to be like, well, why is your wiring coming from the passenger? Well, whoever wired this to begin with didn't really do it correctly, but I'm okay with that. You know, nobody will ever know. No one's ever gonna even look at that right there, just me. So anyways, now that this is actually on there, it looks good, and now I just have to finish up this wiring and get my butt connectors, and let's get it all connected. Let's just slide these wires down there like that. And this white wire, again, this is the reverse wire. So I'll just feed it down there. All right. I'll pull the rest of it from beneath the truck. Now we get the enjoyment of laying down on the ground and doing the wiring. All right, guys, I am underneath the truck. As you can see, I zip tied it there on a existing wiring. Just brought it all the way around. I'm just zip tying it on this tow bar here, and I have the wires hanging here that are connected to the light bar. I already stripped these off. These are 16 gauge. This one is, the reverse one is 20 gauge. And then I have my wires here that are left over from that were all connected to the other LED bar. So now I'm just, and all these are stripped as well, so these are all ready to go. So I'm just going to get my butt connectors and connect all these together, and then heat up the shrink wrap. It should be a go. And then just, you know, zip tie this up, maybe use some electrical tape, put all this wiring up and away. Then we should be good to see a lit up light bar. All of the wiring is now done. I have it zip tied and wired up. Maybe cut that off, but I'll do that. And then it is spliced into the original wiring harness. I have the butt connectors and everything behind all of this electrical tape. So all that is out of the way. It's super simple. All you have to do is, you know, put them with the connecting matching color. The green, the yellow, the brown, and the white. And then there's another white for the reverse lights.